What's up, guys? Kyle with Max Conversion here with you today to walk you through a Christmas light installation Google Ads setup. Now, you really only need to do this one time a year, and for all you Christmas light installers, this industry is awesome. There's tons of money to be made. There's plenty of people that are searching for your service, and I want to walk you guys through how to properly set up these campaigns so that you can make money in this season. So, first thing you want to do is you want to go to ads.google.com. And if you don't already have a Google Ads account, then you want to set one up here. So go ahead and hit start now. Go through that process. It'll make you set up an account. It'll make you set up a campaign, and you'll have to do that. And just once you set up that campaign, don't worry about it at that time. Just delete that campaign. Once you're logged in, you're going to see where we're at here, right? You're going to see kind of you'll see an empty campaign section here. You'll see overviews. First thing you're going to want to do is go over to campaigns. Now, we are going to go ahead and create campaign, hit new campaign. And once you're here, we're going to create a campaign without goal guidance. I know you guys want leads, but we want to be able to have full control over this campaign. So create a campaign without goal guidance, hit search, and then go ahead and hit next. Go ahead and hit next again, skip over these sections, and then we're going to name the campaign. So what we're going to name it, we always name our campaigns after our business, and then we're going to name it Christmas Light Installation. And then what I like to do is typically add a location. So I'm out here in St. Louis. And then what I like to do is I like to add a start date. That way you guys are familiar with when your campaign started. So you can add, let's just say this is November 1st, 2025. So we're going to go ahead and hit start. Now, we do want to focus on conversion, so there's a few different bidding strategies here. There's conversion value, clicks, and impression share. Clicks is what you should start with. Conversions are what you should end with. So clicks, you can't start with conversions because typically Google doesn't have that data yet, so they can't optimize your campaign towards those conversions. So a lot of times you're just spending a lot of money without many conversions. So we're going to go ahead and do max clicks. We're going to set it to about $8. That's kind of the industry average for a Christmas light installation. Now, I know it's going to change year after year. It'll probably go up as more businesses get into this space, but this is kind of the national average. If you guys want, and I'll walk you through in the keyword research tool to show you how to figure out what your CPC is, you guys can leave this at 1 for now until we do that. We do only want new customers, but we do not have a customer list, so we're just going to go ahead and not check that. Very important that we uncheck both search partner and display network. Google's going to recommend it. We do not recommend it. Location options, people in or regularly in. You don't want people interested in. That's like me out here in St. Louis looking for somebody in Los Angeles saying Christmas light installer Los Angeles. I shouldn't see your ad because I'm not a homeowner there. Now, you'll get the one-off where somebody is a homeowner, they're searching from a different state, but 99% of the time, you're going to have people in your area. So just allocate budget to people in your area, and then what you're going to want to go ahead and do is put in the location, right? So St. Louis here, and there's a certain way to do this. If you guys have a list of zip codes, you can always do zip codes. Another thing you can do is search by this, and you guys can kind of go through one by one and add these zip codes. And I'm not going to add all of them. Also, what you could do is if you guys have a certain area, like say Fenton, you could have a 20-mile radius around that area. So it's really completely up to you. Make sure there's only one language per campaign. If you guys are running a Spanish or different language campaign, I would set up a whole nother campaign for that. Make sure this doesn't have EU political ads. Something I recommend for this is just clicking all these, and we're going to go ahead and type in Christmas, and we are going to click all these. And the reason why we're doing this is we want to find out who our audience is. And so by turning this on, we are observing the audience. We are not targeting them. And down the road, if you guys plan on running this campaign for multiple years, you're going to figure out what audience is really working for you guys, and you guys can end up targeting those audiences. Now, you can see here that at the bottom, it's got targeting and observation. We are doing the targeting, right? So, or sorry, we were doing the observation. So it doesn't narrow the reach of your campaign. Basically, just observes this audience down the road. What I just mentioned is targeting down the road. Once you get some conversions, figure out who's working, then you're going to hit target on them. I would run your ad schedule. That is completely up to you guys. I know this industry is pretty run and gun, so you can run it 24/7. You can run it Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 9 to 5. You can really do whatever you want. I just recommend you being able to respond to inquiries as fast as possible. So if somebody reaches out, try and get them on the books and call them back and set that appointment as soon as possible. We're going to go ahead and skip AI Max for now, and we're going to go ahead and skip Final URL for now as well. Now, we're going to name our ad group, and this is going to be our Christmas light installation ad group. This is going to be kind of our main ad group, what we want to target. And so what we're seeing here is we're going to pull in some keywords for Christmas light installation, just like this. Honestly, guys, you can keep it simple. I would just keep it simple like this: Christmas light installation, Christmas light installers, Christmas light design companies, or just companies. You don't want to be too broad with it. Like, even this might be a little too broad. I might recommend, Christmas light services. If you just do Christmas light companies, likely what will happen, and I'll show you here, is we've got Christmas light companies. And you may get some people who hang Christmas lights, but you may also get the kind of the shopping ads as well. So sometimes you'll get, I know this is holiday lighting, and it's cut off just a little bit, but sometimes you get the shopping ads. So try and be as specific as possible here. So I know there's more keywords to add. We will add them in just a sec, but let's make sure that those brackets are added around that. There's 3 different match types. There's broad, right? Christmas lights. There's Christmas lights with phrase. And then there's the exact match. So broad is like you'll probably show up for shopping ads as well. You'll kind of get a mix of different searches you're showing up for. Not recommended. This is great to pick up additional volume. You may get shown for some things you don't want to get shown for. Just make sure you're adding native keywords daily or every other day. And then this is more like, this is exactly what you're going to be found for with slight variations. It's all going to be within the realm of what you want. So typically with this, you have less volume, less flexibility. So you're trading that off. However, for first time company that is running these ads, I would recommend exact match. All right. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I am just going to put down a christmaslights.com. And this is not a real URL. It might be, but we are just doing it for this example. Next, what we're going to do is, let's just do here, Christmas lights installers 1, 2, 3. There we go. That way we're not using a company. So we're going to do Christmas installers, and we're just going to actually do light installers. And now what we want to do is create our headline. So what I like to do, guys, is in the first headline, we use a keyword insertion, and we use the, let's see here, we are going to use the title case here, where the first letter of each word is capitalized. And we're going to type in Christmas light installers, and then I would put your city, right? So St. Louis. Christmas light installers. Let's see if we can do STL. Installers. STL. Perfect. Okay, so what this does, guys, we're going to pin it to position 1. What this does is we've got our headline 1 as Christmas light installers, STL. What it'll do if somebody looks up like holiday light installer, Kirkwood or St. Louis or another city like Creve Coeur, your headline can dynamically swap to Christmas light installers in Creve Coeur. So it makes it a little bit more relevant to what the user is searching for. Next, I would recommend kind of a trust factor, right? Like 50 plus 5-star reviews. We've completed, 250 plus homes. And just continue adding on. And I would even remove we've just completed 250 plus homes, or installed lights 250 on 250 homes. Just keep coming up with those trust factors, right? You guys can say you're an accredited and licensed installer. Let's see here, accredited and licensed. Let's see, insured and licensed installer. And then these are kind of position 2 where you want to have those. And then you likely want to have more position 1s as well. So you guys do holiday lighting installation. You do St. Louis trusted Christmas. Let's see, installers and installation. And then I would have some call to actions as well. So get a free quote, call now for a discount. Something else I would recommend you guys having is an offer as well. So if you guys have, every 100 feet get 10 feet free, or, some sort of offer that kind of ropes people in and makes them want to click on your ad. So 100 feet of lights, get 10 feet free. Get 10 free. Let's do this, just like this. And that can be position 1 or position 2. If you guys have a discount, like $100 off orders over 1,000, that's awesome. That's 2. Or if you guys want to try and qualify, right? $800 starting at $800, right? So you guys can try and push people away by telling them what it is starting at. So if it's, St. Louis trusted, I honestly don't like that as, because it doesn't have light installers, Christmas light installers. But, Christmas light installers, STL, starting at 1,800, 50 plus 5-star reviews. If you guys have more, even better, right? It just increases that trust factor. But these are all good headlines. And honestly, guys, we'll probably reuse these across all the different campaigns pretty much. Or all the different ad groups, I'm sorry. And so here we want to add description. And we want to make it very short and kind of to the point on what we offer, right? So we do Christmas light installation, and you do it in St. Louis. You have best rates, 125 plus 5-star reviews. And now you guys can have some additional, trust factors here where it's we are licensed, insured, and trusted by thousands, by homeowners. If you guys have an offer, you guys can mention, $100 off orders over 1,000. Call now. Again, you guys can kind of have another description here in position 2. Position 1 is kind of restating what you guys do. Position 2 is kind of trying to sell them on it, because the way these ads show is somebody will read probably the first line, and then they'll probably read towards the end, right? So Christmas light installation, St. Louis, $100 off orders over $1,000. Call now. So this middle part is really not, you need it to kind of stand out. It's the beginning and the end that's very, very important. You don't really need a third description. If you guys want to add one, you guys can create that one, but these 2 descriptions are pretty good. Images, I would highly, highly recommend adding images here. So you just add images, pull them from your website, pull off jobs, make sure they look good. If you look up holiday installation STL, you should see some images right here. They look amazing. So make sure you guys are getting those added. Business name, add the business name if it's verified. Business logo, add that if your business is also verified. I'd recommend verifying it. Site links, very, very important, guys. So what we do is we have our URL here. And if you're running a landing page, this might be kind of complicated for some first-time people who are setting this up and aren't familiar with Google Ads, but a lot of times you want a landing page when you're running Google Ads. And a landing page is basically just a single page. It's meant to be salesy. It's meant to have your offer. It's meant to capture that user's information so that they become a lead and then you reach out to them. It shouldn't go to the homepage of your website unless your website is purely optimized for this type of traffic, Google Ads traffic or Facebook Ads traffic. So what I recommend, guys, is if you're running into a landing page, Google doesn't let you run it to a landing page, the same landing page, right, in different site links. So what we like to do is we like to add site link equals 1 with a question mark. So this doesn't change the URL at all, but then you would just go down the board and you'd have it as 2, as 3. It doesn't really matter what this number is. It could be anything, but simply put this. It helps it go to the different, the same landing page, but you guys can have different site link text. So I actually put this in the wrong position. I would recommend setting these up, guys, so you guys can have, Christmas light installer. You guys can have, service areas. You guys can have, get a quote. You guys can have your offer as well. The offer is great. So you can have $100 off over 1,000 order. You guys can say about us, or we use our own lights, and then add that site link again. So, and then you can add a simple description relevant to what this is, right? So we are let's say top rated Christmas light installers. No period required there. 125 plus 5-star reviews. And then you guys can say St. Louis and the surrounding 20 miles. Remove the period as well here, and you guys can say experience over 20 plus years. Get a quote. Yeah, again, you can just go through this and add some simple descriptions. Make sure the first letter of each word is capitalized, and you should be good to go. So we're going to go ahead and add those, and then we're going to add callouts. Callouts are super, super important, and you can just follow along here. Highly trained staff, great. Flexible scheduling, great. Same day availability, if you have it. Get a free quote, yes. Satisfaction guaranteed, yes. 5-star reviewed, free on-site estimate. If you guys have a book online, add that. If you don't do it. Insured and local, yes. Installs 250, no emergency service, certified technician, quick response time, affordable. These are all good assets to have. If you guys can confidently give a price of some sort, you guys can always put, minimum, or you guys can put a price there if you'd like. Totally okay. Promotion's always good. So if you guys do have a discount, right, you can say, let's see here, Christmas, and you guys have $100 off, and it's light installation. Christmas light installation. Actually, we can just have Christmas lights. And then you put your final URL, just put your landing page as well. So, on orders over 1,000, right? Because that's what you guys have. So it'll show this nice little promotion right there. What that does is that will help people click through to your ad. It'll make it more enticing. It'll stand out from some competition. The call right here, just add a call extension. Mandatory. You guys want to add that. You will get calls from it. Messages, skip that. Lead form, skip that. App, skip that. Structured snippet is great. So what I'd recommend is adding, you guys can add a service catalog. You guys can add types. Um, those are really, you can add styles if you want to. Just add whatever you feel fits in these. Service, you guys can do like commercial light installation, commercial lights. You can do home or residential lights. And it's kind of repeating the same thing: Christmas lights, holiday lights, those sort of things work. But you do want the structured snippet. Once you're done, hit save, hit next, set your budget. So for this, I would recommend putting as much as you can to this campaign. For this example, we're just going to put 5. And then we are going to confirm here. All right, once confirmed, you'll want to make sure that the policy everything's good to go. So we're going to see here, destination's not working. Totally okay. We're just going to go back to review. And once this goes through review, I guess we've got to put in a website that works. So let's just go ahead and put our max conversion website here just for simplicity's sake, just to make sure that it gets approved. And then we will hit save, next, and let's see here. Continue with known errors. We're going to hit save, next, and then it's going to go through review again, and we're going to check again. And let's just make sure that this has the website, right? So www.maxconversion.com. All right, so we're going to go ahead and change that and hit save, next again. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit publish on here. And then hit I'll do this later, because you can do that later. And then we're going to go ahead and pause the campaign for now. Now I mentioned some keyword research, so go to the keyword planner, hit the search bar up top, hit keyword planner, discover new keywords, and then you're going to look in your location, right? So we are in St. Louis. And we're going to hit St. Louis, and then we're going to hit Christmas light installer. And that'll give us some idea of what does the CPC look like in this industry, in this location. And we're looking at anywhere from about $3.50 to about $14, $15 right here. So we can see here, that's not a good one, installation. So we probably want to be closer to 10, 11 in the St. Louis market. You don't want to be right in the middle. You want to be closer to this number than you do to this number. You can try and bid at $4, but likely you're not going to get any clicks. Most of the clicks will happen probably in the $10 mark here. So we would want to go back to our campaign and update our campaign settings so that we are bidding about $10. Awesome. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go to ad groups, and we're going to go ahead and just copy this, and we're going to build out a few different ad groups. So we are going to go and build out the holiday light installation ad group. So we're going to copy and paste once, run it in the background. We are going to build out the commercial ad group. So copy and paste, run it in the background. And then we are going to run just the set up and take down ad group. And then if you guys do anything with design, you guys can also run a design ad group, which we are not going to do in this case. While those are pasting, guys, a really important thing for this campaign is going to be negative keywords. And I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but if you go to the left-hand side, you go to keywords, you go to negative keywords. What I recommend is going online, and there are different negative keyword lists that you can pull. And we've got some on our website. So what we got here is we want to exact match this. And some ones I recommend just in general. So if you guys have competitors around you, I'd recommend adding competitor. I'd recommend adding review, jobs, resumes, roofing, those sorts of keywords. Next, I'd recommend removing some of these, right? So you've got the Christmas lights, holiday lights. Make sure they have the brackets around them because those are good keywords. And then you want to remove repair, replacement, bulbs, that sort of stuff. You want to remove own lighting because if you do your guys' own lighting, you want to make sure that they don't have to do their own lighting. If they want, you're not spending money on those keywords. Remove, Depot and Lowe's and Menards, Ace, whatever kind of stores are near you, are near you, go ahead and get those removed. So those I'd recommend adding right away and hitting save, adding it to the campaign, and that should help you start out pretty strongly. Now, really the only thing we got to do next, guys, is the ad group. So we've got our commercial ad group. We've got our, let's see here, we've got our location ad group. We've got St. Louis. And this is a location ad group that you guys can kind of build on. And then you've got holiday lights. So something I'd like to add, or something I'd like to change here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to do this, and we're going to change Christmas out with holiday light installation. Holiday lights installer, holiday light service. Awesome. Perfect. Now we're going to jump over to the St. Louis one, and now we want all these to have St. Louis to them, right? So Christmas light installation, St. Louis. Excellent. Christmas light installers, St. Louis. Christmas light services, St. Louis. Perfect. Now we're going to jump over to the commercial. We're going to do Christmas light, our commercial. Christmas light installation, commercial Christmas light installer, and commercial Christmas light services. Awesome. Something you guys can add in each one of these is if you have commercial light installer, Christmas lights, St. Louis, you guys can add the location as well. Additionally, something you guys can do is in the ad groups, if you guys do the same thing where you guys click on this, you hit edit, you hit copy, and then you hit paste, you guys can paste this ad group and build out the different cities that you guys have. So if we look at the cities in St. Louis, what we're seeing is we've got St. Charles up there, we've got O'Fallon, which is out of our area. We've got Fenton and Wildwood and Pacific and Creve Coeur, Maryland Heights, Chesterfield, Oakville, Arnold. So you guys can build out different ad groups for those different cities in your area. And those will be specific to you guys. So other than that, you guys pretty much have this campaign ready to rock and roll. Now, the thing that before you enable it, before you start it, what you want to do is you want to make sure that conversion tracking is set up. So we've got a different video on that. I'll link it down below in the description on how to set up conversion tracking, phone calls, and form submissions. Extremely important, guys. You're going to want to track these leads, make sure that it's Google Ads is making sense for you guys, and that it's turning a profit at the end of the day, because that's why you run these ads, and probably why you're trying to run these ads is so that you can profitably run, get leads, do jobs, and make money. So if you guys do have any questions about this campaign, do let me know down below in the comments. These videos are meant to be helpful for people looking to set up their own Google Ads for their Christmas light installation business. If you need help, we do help you at Max Conversion. Go to max-conversion.com and submit the form on the website, and we would be more than happy to set up this campaign for you. We've got a whole list of negative keywords in this industry and have some great landing pages as well. So reach out there. We'd be more than happy to help. I appreciate everybody for watching. Stay tuned for more helpful Google Ads content.